Join us or we will copy you. That's Facebook's mantra. Today we're talking marketplaces, platforms, and playing with fire. We're living in a world of walled gardens. Whether it's iOS, Android, Google Chrome, Facebook, every major platform today has built a walled garden. This is especially relevant when it comes to Amazon. I'm an ex-Amazon seller. I've built and sold a couple companies. They were mainly e-commerce focused, and Amazon would help you sell incredibly well on their platform. The thing is, you are playing on someone else's playground, and they can kick you off whenever. And that's what we're talking about today. Platforms are like distribution steroids. Businesses are built faster than ever on the backs of these platforms, which are larger than ever. You can access consumers across the world in ways that we've never been able to before, organically and via advertising. The power and resources at founders' fingertips are unprecedented. And yet at the same time, while that speed helps with scaling, Zyngo 10x'd in 2 years. They got up to 260 million plus monthly active users. They also tanked almost as quickly. Platforms are great until they aren't. When the platform suddenly reaches the scale, when they get to that stage 2 of platform success, where they are more focused on optimizing revenue versus optimizing growth, that's when they start to cut off other people. They start to say, sorry, buddy, we're not sharing revenue. Sorry, we're decreasing your YouTube advertising costs or YouTube advertising share. Sorry, we're not letting you do all of these things because you know what? We don't need you anymore. We're big enough where it doesn't matter. This happens with all platforms. When they grow sufficiently large, the businesses are so big that they just don't care. I knew $10 million sellers on Amazon that would be banned overnight for absolutely no reason, just because of an error. And you know what? Amazon wouldn't reach out to them. They wouldn't try to fix the problem. They didn't care. They were making so much money that it was not affecting them. We're living in the age of the algorithm. Google search, 77 to 80% of searches worldwide. Absurd. That is so much volume. And you know what? We've had SEO changes in how Google thinks about search engines and how they think about rankings. eBay lost 80% of their traffic from Google's fourth Panda update. 80% to a company like eBay, which is pretty reputable, in 2014. We see massive, massive changes happen from small algorithm tweaks where you have no transparency in what's happening. These are typically black box AI type solutions where none of us know, and even if the creators knew, which they don't, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg didn't know what was happening with people's Facebook profiles. They don't see what other people are seeing because of the way these systems are optimized to show you what you want to see and to have even more extreme versions of what you want to see. It's a major, major problem. The blacklisting part, even bigger problem. If you're selling something, if you're successful, if you have an audience, we've seen this with good people, we've seen it with certainly bad people, but you can get blacklisted for a reason or not a reason overnight. It's incredibly hard to reach out to these companies and get anything to change because they're mega corporations. They're too big to care. The other big problem we see with platforms is the control V, the copy paste type situation. We've seen this with Facebook and Snap and Instagram where they completely copy. Instagram stories now are crushing Snap. Snap has flatlined, and we see this with a lot of companies. Foursquare's CEO, what was his name? Naveen Selvadurai, the founder of Foursquare. Join us or we'll copy you. This is common knowledge that this was Facebook's mantra. And Zuckerberg would get people into meetings and essentially say that. When you have this type of scale that these platforms have, they just copy you. You can't do anything about it. Amazon does the same thing with Amazon Basics now. I've sold garden products in the past. Amazon sees my sales numbers. Wow, these are doing really well. We should offer Amazon Basics version. We copy you. We put ourselves at number 1. We'll just move you down a little bit. And suddenly Amazon's stealing businesses. Instagram stealing businesses. We see it over and over and over again. But failure to plan is planning to fail. You have to know that platforms are trying to stab you in the back. Your goal has to be to screw them before they screw you. If you look at what Airbnb did, they screwed Craigslist. They would go on Craigslist, they would find people listing apartments and say, hey, how about you move over here to Airbnb? That's what you have to do as a startup, is you have to screw the incumbent, because the incumbent will try to screw you in the future. You've got to use these platforms for the distribution steroids that they are, while also thinking about who are you serving, how are you serving them, what are the choke points, and do you have any type of leverage? You need to figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are and plan your business around that. You've got to have moats built into the business. Any business without a moat is ultimately a business doomed to fail. All sand castles eventually wash away because the waves just crush them. So how are you protecting yourself? There's 5 different types of moats. There's product, brand, IP, data, and network effects. I would say that all of these can be incredibly valuable, but it would be best if you're able to have multiple ones. Platforms are powerful launching pads. How can you use them? I used Amazon because they had hundreds of millions of consumers, and I was able to get my products in front of consumers quickly. But then our goal was always to get people off of Amazon and onto Shopify, onto eBay, onto Walmart, onto anything else so that we could have better control over the customer. If you guys have enjoyed this so far, subscribe to the podcast. Fringe.fm/iTunes or /Stitcher. You can find more information about us and what we do. I'm your host, Matt Ward, and hopefully this has been fun so far. If it has, hit that subscribe button. Now, backup plans. What is the backup plan? For us, it was Shopify. For us, it was an email address. If you're building on a platform, every platform has its metric. For Twitter, it's not subscribers. Building a massive subscriber list isn't that big. On Facebook, it's not Facebook lights because they're not going to show you to everyone. What you need to focus on doing is getting people off of that platform to somewhere else. You want to take your YouTube subscribers and you want to send them through to your website where you get their email address, and you can control that. What happens if your channel disappeared? Would your business die overnight? This is a major red flag as an angel investor. Businesses that are built on one channel that have no backup plan. You need a backup plan. You need to start building for that right now. There's short-term advertising, there's long-term SEO. How are you building your business? How are you scaling it? Omni-channel businesses are a major red flag. You've got to prioritize the acquisition channels. You want to have long-term and short-term growth. How can you think about that? How can you build out multiple channels so that what you're building isn't hampered by thinking too long-term, but isn't destroyed in case someone decides to hamstring you? Because it is so easy to get caught up in the platform wars, so to speak, where they crush you because, you know what, Facebook wants to up their margin. Startups always need a sustainable, proprietary way to acquire and retain customers. Both of those are equally important. We've got some videos coming out in the future on acquiring and retaining customers and some of the best ways to do it, but it always comes back to business moats. What is your moat? There's the 5 types of moats. There's product, brand, network effects, data, and IP. What are you doing to protect your business? How are you building that into what you're doing every day? And do customers know and care about who you are? How do you get them there? How do you keep them there? How do you keep things valuable? If you're building on someone else's platform, keep in mind it's their playground. They can send you home whenever you want, so have a backup plan. I'm Matt Ward. I'm an angel investor, a serial entrepreneur. If you like this, go to mattward.io to find more information about me. Hit the subscribe button. If you're interested in exponential tech and things of that nature, where we're headed in terms of AI, quantum computing, genetics, genetic engineering, human longevity, space, etc., visit fringe.fm. If you're interested in more of the business side of things, if you go to thesyndicate.vc, that's where we're focused on early stage tech investing. I run an investment syndicate and interview some of the world's leading investors from all the top VC funds, thesyndicate.vc. I'm Matt Ward, signing off. Until next time, go kick some butt. Hit that subscribe button, perfect timing. And until next time, cheers.